As I said, it's a really fantastic honour to be with you guys. And then when we came in, we could hear you sound checking, and it's like completely obvious that you are absolutely on form.
Thanks.
You are, aren't you?
Well, you've been drinking?
No, you
no, that's awesome. Thank you.
On form.
I feel really good. You know, I mean, we're putting a lot of effort into these shows, and we're feeling really good right now.
Yeah, some of those songs in Soundcheck we haven't played in like 3 or 4 years.
I heard you say that.
Yeah. So it was for our street team, you know, because they do so much for us, and this is kind of like a central place where a lot of them are coming from different countries.
Yeah.
And stuff. So we just want to do something special.
Yeah.
We're gonna play a new song tonight, actually.
You are?
Yeah. So.
What's it called?
It's called Kids in the Fog.
Okay. What's it about?
You know, for me, I don't know if, I'll say this because this is the first time anyone's really asked me what that's about, but I know exactly where my head was when I had written it.
Yeah.
Lyrically, at least.
Yeah.
It was, there was a girl that I really liked, and she didn't dig me. She was kind of playing me a little bit, and it like stung, you know what I mean? And I hadn't felt that sting in a long time, and but I kind of liked it a little bit, and it just kind of brought me back a little bit. You know, I think a little bit of pain kind of, I think without it, you just kind of drift along, and with it, it kind of brings you back to reality, and it kind of keeps you really sharp, and so I kind of had this like 20% like wasabi burn in me. It wasn't like over the top heartbreak. It was just enough to like keep me sharp, and it was easy to turn that into a little bit of anger towards her, and just enough to write some biting kind of, you know, kind of edgier lyrics, and it just fit the tone of the song I was working on at the time. So it's kind of like a thank you note to her for, you know, for messing me up a little bit.
So it's almost like,
Hi.
Hey!
Sorry I'm late.
Please don't say sorry. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you. Oh wow, oh look at that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Stuff.
Thank you.
Now don't open that.
You just eat the whole bat, right?
You eat as much as you like.
Thank you.
Yeah, complete fan. Absolutely adore Phil Hannah. Smitten.
I like them too.
Okay.
You just ran up. There's 9. We're on the first floor yet. There's like 9 flights of stairs.
Yeah. I just ran up all those.
You gotta quit smoking.
Are you saying that it's almost like you're back to living because you felt that pain?
Yeah, I think so. You know, we had an earlier song, one of our first songs called Nerve Gas.
Yeah.
And I remember the place where those lyrics were written, and that was more of like a longing to feel that again. You know, to feel anything. It was like, I just feel so numb to everything, and I would almost welcome pain because at least that would be authentic and it'd be less boring. And this was a kind of like, got what you asked for type thing. And how to turn it into something positive, I guess. I mean, I give advice to a lot of, to people that write into my website and stuff, often on matters like this. And it's kind of easy to sit back when you're living semi-comfortably and to, you know, suggest that, well, you know, instead of cutting yourself, why don't you just write poetry? You know, it's easy to say that. This is the first time in a long time where I can kind of put that theory into practice, and, you know, rather than running from something that's bugging you or drinking or, you know, masking it, and, you know, turning it into something creative.
So, when you think about like your early music, what does that say for what we can expect from the next album? Because you could do anything.
Well, it's almost, we're treating it almost like a rebirth because we've kind of been away, you know, and all of us actually have been separated for the first time in 10 years more, probably over 10 years. Mm-hmm. And it's the first time we spent, you know, a year apart because Matt was in New York doing the play and everything. And so all of us had times to live our own lives and kind of like get into a different place besides the touring world and, you know, having fans around you all the time and stuff like that. So it kind of gives you some perspective of like what you want to do, and also really the love of music and why you're doing it in the first place. At least, you know, that's what the time did for me, you know. So we're all trying to kind of come together and we're all on different planes, really, you know, as far as like influences. And we've kind of always been, but when you're in the machine's working and you're constantly working, you kind of, it's hard to get perspective, you know. So I think the time separated, we kind of, I know, grew emotionally and probably writing-wise, I hope so too.
Physically too.
Yeah, physically.
No. Yeah, I agree with all that.
Oh, am I asking me now? Yeah, I agree. And you know, you kind of said something. You said thinking about new music for us and that what it's going to be like because we can do anything.
Yeah.
And that to me is the most exciting idea is that we can do at this point, you know, especially since we've kind of been, you know, cold and, you know, for, what's the word, dark, I guess, as they say in the theater world.
Thank you.
I want to make sure you can understand.
Do you like
but,
an encore?
Since we haven't done anything
Bravo.
in a while, you know, there's not any pressure, like there's no feeling like we have to come up with another Lips Like Morphine-esque song to try to like keep this group of fans interested or whatever.
Or a manager or a leader.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's zero pressure to like, you know, shoot a video like for the Unwanted song, you know, that thing. There's no pressure to do anything like that. That's the kind of the most inspiring thing. Just we can just really do whatever we want. That's the reason that we're able to get together after all this time and do this is that there's a little tiny like bit in your brain where it's like when you're doing something that you really feel, you know, is powerful musically and everything. That's probably just about the most exciting thing that there is. So it's sometimes you gotta hunt it down. You know, it doesn't come easy. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess for progression, I guess that's what you just strive for that, and you know, there are hits and misses, but it's worth trying.
But I think that's the progression that I meant. Yeah, that is. What about you?
So this new recipe for Coca-Cola.
Right. Yeah.
That's all you can think about.
Yeah, that's all I can think about. Actually, you know, jogging up all those stairs just took everything out of me. I had nothing.
What I'm interested in is what you're going to do next, because
Right.
your music has been so varied,
Right.
and so brilliant at times. So at times it's got that incredible, yeah, you know what I mean.
So we want that feeling again.
Yeah.
That's the feeling we want.
I think
you're answering our question, right?
So the first time I heard I Want to Be a Kennedy, around the Kennedys, I was like, fuck.
Could we
It was
pay her to hang out at the studio for like 3 months?
absolutely brilliant. Yeah, no, but you don't have to do this. You'll do that again and again and again, and it depends on how. And we're trying. That's what we're interested in. We're interested in your creativity.
Well, I know that in some of the talks that I've had with the guys, some of it is, you know, I know a lot of bands will say this, but there's going to be some aspects of it that are the heaviest thing that we've ever done, and I don't mean like in like a metal way.
Yeah. More
of just really, you know, intense grooves and power. I've spoken to Greg a lot about what he would want to hear, and Greg's actually for the first time, well, not for the first time, but really making an effort to write songs, which is exciting. I'd say overall it's just going to be more intense. I think that Matt's, you know, just what he's experienced in the last couple of years. I think he has a lot to say, and of course when we were on the road just constantly for years, you kind of get lost because you're not in the real world. And what Greg was saying when Matt was in the play, that everyone kind of got to step away for a second and kind of built their own life again a little bit. So now we can come back with a more, I don't know, I don't know if it's going to be so relationship based, but it's really up to Matt and what, you know, inspires him too as a singer.
Yeah, I mean, as far as growth, like you're saying, you know, and how to, in a sense that, to paraphrase you, it's kind of like almost how are you staying inspired, in a sense, like how are you progressing, how are you pushing yourselves? And you know, I've lived my entire life to fight the tendency to plateau in any way, so I'm always pushing in my private life to do things that challenge me and to keep things interesting, keep me, you know, push through things that scare me and things like that. So I think with us now, the way you stay inspired and the way you come out with a record that's going to surpass the last one is you try to lead an interesting life. And that's kind of, we've all been doing that, you know, so I'm excited to put that into, you know, for that to materialize in, you know, in sonic form, you know. And I think we're all, none of us have peaked at our craft yet either. I think it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a blast to get back in the studio.
I get that sense from you guys that although some of the stuff that you've done has been absolutely brilliant, I don't think you've like done the most brilliant we're going to do. It's a guess.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, no. And also, I mean, we can't wait to hear the album. Well, what types of things, as this is going to play into what you do as well, what types of things do you think about on a daily basis? So it's like one by one, yeah? I want to know the types of things that's in your house. You can be honest, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm most excited for him.
Dude, I know, we should answer for each other.
Yeah, go on, do that now, yeah?
No.
Yeah,
Right.
and you're allowed to swear, you're allowed to be very rude as well. Okay, it's fine with us, yeah.
Show your frustrations.
Oh man, I don't know. That's a really difficult question to answer. You're talking about just what goes through my head on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It's suppressing. All day I suppress my basic instincts.
Really? Sounds quite healthy.
Well, when I wake up in the, you know, I was thinking about this. I live right across from this gigantic field, you know. There's this gigantic field, and I woke up one day and I'm like, you know, it'd be the perfect job for me if this field were just filled with people, and I had a machete and I just walked through the field packing away all day long.
You get paid.
And I get paid for that. Yeah. And you know, ideally, it's not really to hurt somebody.
Yep, that's what I thought was going through.
Yeah, I would have said that exact thing for Dan too.
It's not for you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's how you think
I think you want to be in The Walking Dead. Like you just want to like all zombies and just kill them all.
But
yeah.
It's physical. You gotta exercise.
Yeah.
You're outdoors.
Yeah, you get a nice tan.
There's a box.
You're around people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Temporarily, but at the end of the day, you get this really satisfied feeling that you really made a difference.
Yeah.
That they'll remember you.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Next.
All right. Well, how can I go from there? How do I top that?
Greg wants to clean up all the bodies that.
Yeah.
Oh really?
God, I don't know. I mean, you know, you wake up hoping that the next day is going to be better than the next, and the only way that's possible is if you make it that way. And so that's a challenge when you're caught in a certain rhythm and cycle, and you know, there's definitely always things around you that, you know, give you self-doubt, and it's even like social networking stuff like Facebook and Twitter. It's like going on that, like being on this tour and being away from it for 3 weeks, it actually put me in a better place. And when you're on those things and you're seeing like everyone's like basically just talking about how great their lives are and stuff, and then you kind of forget like how great yours is at sometimes, you know. And I don't know. I mean, it's. I just feel like we haven't said enough, and we're not ready to give up. Like, you know, and I think about music every day. I mean, like that when I wake up, when I go to bed, it's like almost all music, you know. So there's definitely to express yourself. Really, it's like, you know, you wake up and you make your life better, you know. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of agree with Dan. I kind of feel the same.
You're in the field together.
No, I did, but the idea of like every day is like, I mean, we're, I don't know what you'd call it, hyper imaginative, hyper self-aware. So you're constantly overthinking. You're evaluating your life as it's happening. So in a lot of different contexts that are overlapping. So, you know, for me it is a daily decision which instincts to suppress and which to indulge, you know? I think that's my life in a nutshell. Which things, you know, which boundaries should I be pushing, which ones should I be leaving alone, you know? That's, you know, if you're asking where, you know, where we are mentally and how that's going to inform the next record, then I think that's, you know, I'm not sure if you'll hear machete work in the guitars on the next record, but you probably will, like, there's something to exactly what he said that will kind of inform the choices that we make musically, you know, because I think it is like a fight for your own existence, and I think it is like a fight for purpose, and you know, that's me, I guess. I guess it's also fighting the urge to be lazy, because that's just in my blood. I think like I think I was always meant to be rich, and I'm not.
I can definitely vouch for that.
And so I think I just was meant to just sit around and judge people and drink wine all day, and so sometimes I do that, but I haven't earned it yet, you know. So I'm fighting that as well. You know, there's something to the fact that when we rehearse in Chicago, we still rehearse in the same tiny space in the back of Greg's loft that we did when we began, and you know, there's something about coming back from a tour where you've played in front of thousands of people and you've done great press and you've seen your posters in magazines, and then you're still bruising your shins carrying an amp up like 3 flights of stairs. There's something that keeps it real when you do that, and you know, I'm just mindful of all of that, and I think that's why it's kind of this is a perfect time for you to ask that question, actually, because we're all kind of figuring it out for ourselves right now. We should hang out.
We should. We should.
I mean, we.
Yeah. It's okay, yeah.
Elias, what's yours?
Yeah.
Malta.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to keep the fifth one.
What?
He thinks about where his electronic cigarette is when he wakes up.
Elias thinks about a lot more than people would imagine. What we see at Elias is a guy who smokes constantly, drinks constantly,
not drink alcohol, drink Diet Coke.
but cares more about the band and about the craft of drumming and about the world of music than any one of us. Do you know?
Well, thank you.
Is that
That's true. That's something true.
really?
He was the one that came. We felt when Elias joined the band, we were in a place just like we are right now. In a sense, we felt like jaded old men, you know. And he came in, was like, "What the fuck is the matter with you guys? Why don't you care? You know, why aren't you as fired up as I am?"
Yeah, I always you know, I always joke with the guys that I like Kill Hannah way more than they do, and I like the music more than they do. As far as what I think about with this band is, I'm just really glad that I got to meet and play with other people that I get along with so well, and that share a lot of the same views as me, and that includes killing people with machete.
Yeah, but what on a daily basis? What themes would you say?
I mean, I consider myself
To be fair, Elias's day is much shorter than the rest of ours.
Yeah, sure.
He sleeps about 19 hours.
I try to sleep about as much as I can.
We're being kicked out to do one more interview, but just to close it, I want to know what are the main passions and anxieties, because he's got more anxiety.
Anxiety, yeah, definitely.
But you might not want to share that.
I'm sorry?
You might not want to share.
No, it's the thing is, it's the stuff that I think about a lot. If I say this, you know, you have to be watchful of what you say because it reflects all of us.
It can do,
you know, yeah. So the stuff, there's a lot of stuff that I would share without a camera on or
Yes.
something. But
And we have sympathy for that as well.
right. But I'm a very dark, hateful person, and I even though I'm very happy and I get along with everybody, I'm not a mean person. Just the stuff that goes on in my head is pretty weird, and
It's from Phoenix. Let's put it that way.
Whereas you,
Yeah.
of course, are completely normal.
Yeah.
no, Dan is on top of it.
I'm white bread.
Yeah.
I love it.
Dan's wife.
I really do.
Life's
Yeah.
life is a
You're normal to
rich tapestry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Here, I'll say this. Music. I think about music a lot and playing drums. Really, I have patterns of stuff going through my head at all times of thinking of, things like right, left, kick, just patterns that I want to work out on a drum set. That's what I'm always thinking about as well.
My God.
That's true.
That's true.
And what's the puzzle game?
Oh, and I play Sudoku.
No.
Sudoku.
Yeah.
I play at least like six games of that. So.
Right, okay, so, I mean, I can't thank you enough for
Yeah,
what you
thank
said,
you.
Yeah, but, really, because we get that. You're basically 100% drummer
Yeah.
of the new breed, which is the drummer where the rhythm goes from the bottom of your toenails to the last strand of your head.
Yeah, I'd
And
say
you
that.
just live it
Yeah.
and breathe it.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I try to play drums all day long. If we're not on tour, I'm playing drums all day.
And that mathematical thing, you guys are so lucky to have each other. But I can see how it works, and knowing your music, I can hear it. It's,
Yeah, you can.
so that just means the next album's going to be absolute.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
You got
Well, thank you so much.
Normally we cut
Have I
it
got
and
to
we
stop? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No.
Dude, no, we would talk to you forever.
I've talked to you
We
guys
tried it.
forever.
We were supposed to cut it off like
All right.
a long
Yeah,
time.
I made eye
Sorry.
contact a long time ago.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No, not with you,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
them.
All right, I'm so sorry.
We'll have to hire us
Thank you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
thank
thank you so much.
It's an honour.